that everything's working fine.
I'm just not sure whether publish means
Everybody
push it live or it means
stop it and
yeah, that's the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it on our page.
Published, okay. Oh, live now, okay. So, are we live now?
I don't know, are we?
The technical difficulties.
This is like...
Yeah, we're live.
Holy
This is
shit.
going. This is
my
happening.
God. Let's
All
listen to ourselves.
Is it
as
just
we
on
record.
YouTube?
It's just on YouTube, yeah. Cool. Alright, let's do this.
Now, no pressure, George, but don't fuck up the beginning like you do every time.
Sorry, I can't guarantee that. So many technologies going at the same time. Alright. We're doing this? We're doing this.
I'd say so.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast Strikes Back. My name is George and you're listening to the weekly movie show with the boys Connor
Hello.
and Benny.
Hello there.
Oh, it sounded a little bit laborious, Benny.
I'm so sick of doing this show. if it weren't for the massive paychecks, I wouldn't be here every week.
And now we're live streaming, so more of a burden on you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
guys.
see you really dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah. I'm in the Sunday best.
Yeah, for our regular listeners, we're live streaming this week on YouTube, and we're going to make this a more regular thing, so that is very, very exciting. But yeah, we've got a massive show this week talking about all the Superbowl trailers, including Solo, which I am very excited to talk about.
Hugely, yeah. Also, with live streaming, it also gives us the unique opportunity to ask the audience about how much like John Cusack you actually look like.
Oh, tell us, people.
You'll also be able to see the death stares Connor and I throw at each other every now and then.
I feel like so much of the subtlety of our interaction is lost without seeing
No more just like
the eye rolls
the
and just like, oh.
The curtain has been lifted.
Yeah.
But yeah, a quick announcement from the podcast Strikes Back. Next week we're going to be emceeing Black Panther at the Ritz Cinema in Sydney. So if you live in Sydney, come on down, say hey. I think we're all very excited to see Black Panther.
If you don't live in Sydney, fly over. Come say hey.
Why not?
I won't say it's worth it, but
We will give you a hug.
I'm on the record as I'm not doing that.
But you've never hugged anyone, so...
No, not into it.
So yeah, come on down, 7 p.m. screening. It's going to be a good time. And also to wet everyone's whistle a little bit, there could be something pretty big for us in the pipeline. So stay tuned. I'm very excited. I can't say more than that. It's a bit of a tease, but
I'll just give you one hint. Infinity War cameo.
Well, that's the announcements. Guys, what's everyone been watching this week?
Right, so to continue on from the Black Panther screening that we're doing on, I believe it is Wednesday, I'm introducing someone to the MCU. I think that they've watched maybe one Captain America film, maybe the second one, which I feel is a disappointment because I don't think you should start on that one. It's like one of the best ones.
You got to start with episode
You got to start at the
one, don't you?
beginning. Anyway, so we...
you got to start at the beginning, dude.
Yeah. So this was I think on Tuesday or Wednesday that she was like, oh yeah, I'd like to see the podcast Strike Back do the Black Panther one. I was like, oh, so we've got a week to get you up to speed. So we just finished phase 1.
So that's
Friday.
Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Avengers.
That
It's
is
the
what
first
phase
6
1
films.
is, yes.
There's 6 films.
Iron Man 2 as well.
Yes,
Man 2,
I
yes.
admittedly did not watch Hulk for a couple of reasons. One, it's actually no one reason. It's not the greatest film. It's not relevant. You know, you can watch Avengers and none of that plays any part. It's a different actor, for fuck's sake.
I've actually never seen it.
Well,
So
It's not very good, but you know, you of course say you can't watch phase 1 if you didn't watch it.
I've watched phase
It
1.
is part of phase 1.
It's
but she
is it?
hasn't watched phase 1.
Yeah. But yeah, so we we've done 5 movies so far in like 3 days.
blasted through them.
Yeah, it's
What was the highlight from a newcomer? Like, what was the one that really...
it's hard to. Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
She hated it all.
Yeah.
She's like, can you stop showing me
yeah.
these damn movies?
So sick of this guy.
There was, you know what I was, because I haven't seen Iron Man 1 and 2 in ages. I was really impressed with how Iron Man 1 stood up. Like, obviously, it's nowhere near the level of kind of CGI or anything like that now. But considering that's a movie that was made 10 years ago, it holds up spectacularly well.
It's a great origin story, man.
It really is, yeah. And it's really interesting to see how seamless it fits into the overall universe. Because you can imagine when they first started, I was reading a little bit about it, with the kind of intentions of, now I can't think of the director's name. Jon Favreau, thank you. The intentions of him, like chucking little kind of scenes here and there, and like the after credit scenes, as more of an opportunity. But like there was no big plan for it for the MCU, like as a shared universe. There might be some, kind of
throw all the shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Exactly, and the fact that it's
very much a part of Phase 1.
Yeah, and you imagine that would mean that if going back to it, you'd be like, well, that's not right. They changed that, but they kept it fits into the continuity brilliantly.
Yeah, I love that, man. It's just like, instead of planning it all out like DC have done, it's like, let's get this shit going and we'll learn as we go. And I think that's what.
But they also started there's two parts of that. They started, but they also started small.
Yeah, exactly.
Iron Man is very much a very contained story. So is Thor.
Yeah.
So like they're all, yeah.
But yeah, that sounds fun, man. So you're going to be able to get up to Black Panther by next Wednesday. And it's Saturday today.
Yeah. So there's a couple that by necessity we will not be watching.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, you're going to miss
both of those are giving a miss because you can watch those at any point throughout this anthology, whatever.
Yeah, they're running parallel. Yeah.
And it doesn't until you hit Infinity War, it just doesn't matter. I was tempted to also do the same with Doctor Strange and Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok partially because I don't even think it's out yet.
No, it should be soon.
Yeah, I think it's like March 6th. And then Doctor Strange, because again, a very contained story. It feels like it almost belongs in Phase 1, and then holds no relevance to Civil War or, possibly Black Panther. I'd like to get through them all, but those are the ones that, if need be,
you're in.
Axe them.
That is funny with Black Panther. It's like, oh, this is a very standalone movie. You've just got to watch, I guess, Civil War. It's like, oh, well, if you watch Civil War, you've got to watch pretty much everything.
Well, and that was the thing, like, because, she's like, well, can I just watch the one where he first appears? And I was like, well, yeah, but you're not going to understand anything. You have to watch the entirety of Phase 1.
You idiot.
Apart from Incredible Hulk, you have to watch at least the second Avengers.
If you want to watch
Winter
Civil War,
Soldier.
you've got to watch Incredible Hulk.
You've got to watch Winter Soldier. You've got to... You're not actually wrong about that. So it's been a wild ride. It's been really good, kind of going back and exploring it. I had planned to watch them all again this year before Infinity War. This is just up to my timeline a little bit. That's been wild.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Benny?
That was epic. So we'll talk about this later in news. The Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
Surprise release. I watched that just about the minute it was available because I had work that night, so like I had to get it on or wasn't going to see it, so I chucked it right on. So I got to watch this movie before any word was out about it. No one knew anything really apart from that trailer that had come out, and it was a really interesting experience because you never really get that, like really coming in blind. Like you can not watch trailers and not read reviews, but you still kind of get a whispers.
You get Twitter tweets or there's some little tidbit about
you
it.
have to truly be kind of
cut yourself off,
to not at least get a vibe of what this film is.
Yeah, and
so you went in with no prejudice.
Absolutely, and I love being able to do that. I wish I'd been able to do it for a movie that was any good though, because it was bad. It was real bad.
It looks like maybe production design and budgeting was an issue with this, just from what I've seen of it. Because I haven't seen the full thing. Is that...
The issue is that it seems like they were making 3 different movies, and different departments didn't realise it. It is so cobbled together. It's got a really intriguing first, third. It's very, kind of a more slick Event Horizon, with, some Solaris or something, and just some wacky sci-fi goofy horror shit going on, and none of it ties together whatsoever. Because you're watching the first third and you're like, man, this is wild. How are they going to reconcile all of this? and then you're like, oh, they're just not ever at all going to do any of that. And then there's just like this weird tie-in to the first Cloverfield movie. It kind of runs through and gets through at the end, and it's
Do you think?
fuck.
So you're gonna have to remind me. Was the original plan for this film to be within the Cloverfield universe, or was it
Like 10 Cloverfield Lane? It was a standalone film that J.J.
adapted
Abrams and
into
Bad
it?
Robot picked up and like let's
Okay.
retrofit this into the Cloverfield.
So do you feel as though
anthology
that might
sort
have
of
played a
universe.
part in it?
I don't look. The
I'm
worst
liking this
part-
call and response thing we're doing.
Yeah, I don't think this movie would have been good anyway. I don't think J.J. Abrams ruined this. Like, I feel like there's parts that are strong on their own. It's such a weird mishmash of a movie. Amazing cast though. I can't believe how good the cast is. It's got David Oyelowo, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah,
it's
Chris
got-
O'Dowd, yeah.
Yeah, just a bunch of like really cool actors who
Who's the main guy, the Civil War guy?
what?
European actor? Isn't he in it?
Who?
The Civil War bad guy?
Oh yeah, Daniel Bruhl. Yeah.
Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah, I fucking love that guy.
He's great.
Like, these are some of the most credible actors working, and Chris O'Dowd. And it's like, what? How did they all sign on to this? There must have been some point where this was like a really sick project, but I don't know. I just can't see that having been the case. Yeah. Anyway, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Now you might get something out of it, George.
I think
'cause
I
you
might.
like Event Horizon.
I love Event Horizon.
Yeah.
That's one of my faves.
That movie comes together better than this one though.
Okay.
It's got Sam Neill going insane.
Yeah.
Hey, George.
This week, chucked on some horrors.
Did you?
Lovely fellows came over the other evening and we watched Conjuring 2.
We did.
And I also, early in the week, watched Insidious 2. So I watched both the James Wan sequels and, I'd seen Conjuring 2 before. You guys hadn't.
Yeah.
I think everyone had a good time with it.
I was
You a little bit
really impressed with
lengthy from what
Very
you guys
long.
said. I found like it whizzed by like that, but it's a 2-hour 15 movie or so, and for a horror, that's quite long.
That's huge. That's epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really loved that, and I love the story with that film about how the creature, the nun, wasn't quite figured out until later on. They did reshoots, and they figured that creature out after the main photography had been done. I think that's a really cool story, and I love that kind of stuff.
Only because it worked out.
Only 'cause it worked out.
99% of the time, that's a sign of a bad
Exactly.
movie.
That is not a good roadmap for how to make films.
No,
It's actually exactly what happened with Cloverfield Paradox, from what I understand.
Oh, really?
They hadn't worked out the connection while they were making it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But I love that it works in this, and in James Wan we trust. And I've got to say, Insidious 2, man, that's a scary movie. That really has some terrifying moments in it.
Really.
A lot scarier than number 1, I think. But
That's
what
good. I don't remember the first one being like crazy scary.
First one wasn't. I mean,
It's
the
kind of
first
like one
half
bit
was.
with the Darth Maul behind.
Yeah.
someone
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
it's
point.
pretty damn scary.
The
In
first,
the
first
cinema,
half
in the
is
cinema.
quite scary. The second half is ridiculous at best.
I love the second half.
Yeah,
I love the further.
and this is something that we've always talked about. I found the further to be such a departure from the first half that it just kind of jars me a bit. Like
Oh, really?
it's not scary, and I don't like it when like it's such a trope for a horror film to die off on the second half.
I didn't feel like that. It did that at all.
Did you find any scary moments in the second
Yeah,
half of
heaps.
Insidious 1?
Yeah, like heaps when he sees the family in the living room and they're all fucked up. Like that's scary, man. That's some scary stuff.
Yeah. And Insidious 2, I don't remember being, because it was probably about a year or two ago that I saw it. I don't remember it being hugely scary, but what I do remember is it being one of the best sequels I've ever seen, simply because it fits so perfectly.
Like dovetails
Oh.
right into that first one.
It just it blew my mind when I was watching that, how well that they kind of connected.
Very elegantly. Well, guys, let's get into the news and then the trailers in a little bit, which I'm very excited to talk about.
Yeah. So we got to get through the news first. And first on our list is Joaquin Phoenix is in talks to what?
Joking.
You practiced it.
I didn't
thought you
say
were
joking.
kidding.
You did. You literally just said joking.
It's going out live.
Coming at you
Are
live.
you joking with us, mate?
Joaquin Phoenix is in talks to star for the Joker origin film.
So we're talking about Joaquin Phoenix, if anyone's curious.
I was seeing Joaquin Phoenix the entire time before.
He
It's
actually
like,
was. He was insane.
Literally,
I was like, don't fuck it up, Connor. He's like,
yeah, fuck you.
He's the most eloquent, well-spoken person off the pod.
You put a mic in front of me and just like turn to a kindergartner.
the names, man, the names.
Names get me, man. I can't remember names. I can't pronounce names. It's terrible.
But yeah, so Joaquin coming in, Joker origin story. Like, what's happening with Jared Leto? What's happening
Well,
with...
they're still working on
Suicide Squad 2.
That too, and then Jared Leto and
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Because
Because this is like the DC premiere line of like non-continuity movies. This is a Scorsese produced one that we talked about a long time ago.
yeah. How bizarre is that?
Leo DiCaprio was like, that's who they were like kind of aiming for, and it sounds like if they lock fucking Joaquin down, that's a step up, I reckon.
Yeah.
What an awesome casting choice for the Joker he would be. Todd Phillips less so as a director, but
I'm just so conflicted by this because on the one hand, I don't feel as though I have any desire to see a Joker origin film. It's just not. It's not. If I think about the DC and what I'd like to see, that's not at the top of my list. And then beyond that, the fact that we already have a Joker in current continuity in the DC just makes it feel all the more stranger.
a Joker that is universally hated, which is impressive for a character that is among their most popular.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of like the kind of fan crowd, he's probably just right there next to Batman.
Damaged.
Damaged. So yeah, I this makes sense as them trying to redeem the character, I guess, and just trying to make him marketable again. Because they had it so good with Heath, and then
Yeah.
I didn't hate Leto, but the rest of the world certainly did. So,
Yeah, see, I didn't. Out of all of the
movie sucked. But
just terrible decisions of that film, I thought that was kind of
somewhere
a
in the
middling.
middle.
Yeah, it wasn't their greatest moment, but it certainly wasn't. I think deserving of the vitriol that it has incurred.
I mean, the tattoos are pretty bad.
Yeah, the tattoos are bad, and
I just like I hate pretty much all the choices they made with him. I don't hate Leto in the role so much.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you guys in terms of how does this all fit together, because in one regard I'm like, nothing's working in DC for me right now. Let's fucking get this going, see what sticks. From another perspective, I'm like, I want this to kind of work out. I want to get to know these characters more. Like, we just got this interpretation of the Joker.
But
Like,
we're still getting that.
Are we just gonna, like, is that Harley Quinn movie? I'm not convinced that Harley Quinn Joker movie will happen. I'm not convinced this will happen.
Requa and Fakara are attached, the directors of Crazy Stupid Love, so that one is supposedly going ahead. But I mean, as much as anything is going ahead in the DC.
We've seen how many times DC have announced a slate of films and then they just haven't happened.
Yeah.
So, like, I want it to kind of get to know the next version of the Joker rather than just like have 15 different Jokers in a decade.
I think I'd rather go with them doing standalone stuff like they do with their animated movies, like not set in the same universe, because at this point they've shown they can't do it. I say throw it all under the bus. Let's see Aquaman bomb, then we'll get another Wonder Woman, and then just like let's start doing weird shit again.
Yeah.
Because then we can make, then they can make like a Kingdom Come movie or a Red Sun or something, and just instead of having to be, like, they've shown continuity is not their strong suit.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix though, awesome get. He was very nearly signed on to the role of Doctor Strange, which he would have been really great at, I'm sure.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think he could have pulled that off?
He would have done a much better American accent.
Well, all right. Yes, but in terms of just the look and the
He looks
feel of the character,
perfect.
really?
He's absolutely spot on. He looks better than Benedict. Benedict Cumberbatch is a bit of a reptile, so he looks good in the role, but I reckon Joaquin would have been spot on.
Yeah, he would have been great.
When the
Just
stories
trying
were
to
going
imagine.
on about him, they had a kind of a specific image from the comics that they would use that looked exactly like Joaquin Phoenix.
Really?
Like it was made, years ago, but it's spot on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I love Joaquin Phoenix in this, but DC, you just let me down so many times. I'm gonna just, when it happens, it happens.
I'd love to see like a really dark, like ominous trailer, and it's like from the director of Old School, the Hangover trilogy.
Yeah, Todd Phillips, strange choice.
You could probably.
Is it at this point? Is anything DC does strange?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had it in him. War Dogs was really cool.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he'll
War
get
Dogs.
to finish maybe half the film before they boot him and they put another director in there.
And
so-
Ron Howard will come in.
Yeah, it's not Lucasfilm, bro.
All right, our next story is Marvel Studios celebrates its 10th year anniversary, or the MCU anniversary, with a big class photo. So this is I think Variety did a a spread, short little video that was pretty cool, and a big photo of a lot of the major players in the last 17 films.
Yeah, there's like, what, 80 or so people there?
It's crazy, isn't it?
It begins to kind of like cement, in at least my mind, how big this universe is. And not only that, but how much of a task Infinity War must be to just even conceptualize.
Yeah.
Like most of the actors on that stage are in that movie, which is
Yeah, oh,
That's
just
crazy.
ridiculous. But yeah, so I mean, they've got like just absolutely everyone in this photo.
It's a great photo. You really have to zoom in to see everyone on your phone.
it's like such a big photo that it seems like there were different directors on different sides, because like Paul Rudd's like smiling happily, and then other people look super serious. It's like,
It looks like they were just allowed to do whatever pose
Yeah.
they deemed fit. Like there doesn't seem to be any kind of single direction for the photo, which I kind of love.
Were they all there, or did they green screen this?
They were all
No, they're all
there. Yeah,
there.
we
They're all
saw
there,
we
wow.
saw it on Twitter a few months ago. Kind of a
Okay,
big
wow.
gathering.
Wow.
There's a short video that Marvel put out of them all like meeting each other and talking about how everyone's fanboying over like, because you'd think a lot of these people wouldn't have met each other.
Yeah.
You know, they're just not involved in the same movies. So it was really
Really the
cool.
ones who are sometimes. who
Oh yeah,
meet each other.
exactly. Yeah. You know, Josh Brolin probably hasn't met a single one of them.
Yeah, probably.
But like,
He wasn't there, so yeah, he probably
yeah,
hasn't.
that's right. But I just think it's so wild. The idea of them, you know, like that it's so big that you have. It looks like they've got half of Hollywood there.
Yeah. There's some big hitters there, man.
And it's kind of, you're so kind of distracted by it, you sometimes don't notice who's not there. Like, I'd like to run through some of the people who actually weren't there, some of the major players. It's a lot of the villains are not there at all. Like, you've got Crossbones there, but you don't have Jeff Bridges, Mickey Rourke, Sam Rockwell, Michael Keaton, Kate Blanchett, Mads Mikkelsen, Andy Serkis, Daniel Bruhl, Tom Hiddleston. Not
Wow.
there.
I did not notice Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
devastating.
And Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis not there. Kenneth Branagh, director of Thor, not there. Natalie Portman, of course, not there. Stellan Skarsgård, I was surprised at. He's a big part of it. Obviously, Ed Norton and Terrence Howard recast during Phase 1.
Yeah.
Bad blood there, I'm sure, so they weren't there. Guy Pearce, Ben Kingsley, another couple of bad guys. Robert Redford, James Spader, so many bad guys not there. Hugo
so
Weaving.
There was a
Stanley
lot
So
of
you
people
got
missing.
Crossbones. Every other villain. Marissa Tomei. Bradley Cooper wasn't there. Aaron Taylor Johnson. And the big one I found, which I believe this was a scheduling thing, Clark Gregg, Agent Coulson.
Yeah, I saw
was
that.
not there, which was a real bummer, I thought.
I mean, if you think about how many, there's what we said about 80 odd people in the photo.
So, I mean, what?
Just to get 80 people with those kind of schedules in one room for a
Crazy.
day is
Crazy.
crazy on its own.
Yeah.
Like that's absurd.
These are some of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I thought it'd have to be green screen. Because I was like, how do you schedule this?
No, because like if it was green screen, they'd have been able to get everyone then.
I like that they had Alan Taylor there, though, director of Thor 2.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool that they brought him in. And like Vin Diesel was there. What's Vin Diesel? Like, he's never seen any of these people before.
He's just been in a voice booth for like an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I love the video. I highly recommend checking the video
Yeah.
out.
Is that on the Marvel Facebook page?
I believe so, yeah. And it's literally like 2 minutes. But it's just some really nice kind of uplifting little interviews.
Yeah, nice.
All right. You all happy with that?
Happy.
I think we got one more newsy.
Yeah, so Ben, you mentioned this before, but the Cloverfield Paradox officially announced during the Super Bowl and was released on Netflix directly after the game.
Yeah.
Rumors.
Some would say dumped on Netflix.
I have a
really,
feeling that's
in a
exactly
really high-profile way.
I'm confused about why they did it like that. That just seems so.
After seeing the movie, do you get it? Like, does it all make sense? Like, why Paramount dumped this?
Yeah. Oh my god, it would have bombed so hard in
No,
cinemas.
I get why Paramount dumped it. I don't understand why Netflix accepted it.
Because Netflix is critic-proof, as we just saw with Bright, which did amazingly well for
that's
them and was roundly derided by critics. Yeah, apparently Netflix paid $50 for this, which is a bloody sweet deal for the company who made it, because
50 million,
yeah, sorry, 50 million. I don't think 50
$50.
That would have been
Like,
about right
is it
too.
a show?
That's what I would have paid for.
And I was like, you guys just please take this.
Yeah.
We'll take anything. Yeah, I think that's more than it would have made in cinemas for sure.
Yeah.
No one would have gave a crap about this.
Wow. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm pumped for this for some reason. And you know, as you said, critic proof. Like, well,
doesn't
just
make it
going on
good.
that.
Let's
just
make
going
sure.
on that thread of critics. Like, Bright got shredded to pieces, and I didn't think it was as bad as what everyone said. I
It
mentioned
wasn't.
that a few weeks ago on the podcast when it came out, and so when I see all this stuff with Cloverfield, I'll take it with a grain of salt and,
Well, that's
and
the
then see
thing.
because I'll probably get a lot out of this, as you said. Massive Event Horizon fan,
Really bad taste in films.
just an awful human being.
Yeah.
It's right up my alley.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think one of the things that happened with Bright is that I think a lot of critics have previously disdained at the idea of Netflix getting into films and original content and all that. I don't think that the kind of mainstream movie machine likes that to begin with. So I think that there's a lot of negativity around that
Yeah.
right off the get-go.
Yeah.
So I think that influences that a little bit.
Can we just quickly? Sorry, Benny, you go.
I can confirm with this one that that's definitely not been an influence. This movie just sucks.
Yeah.
But there has been it's clearly worked out for Netflix a bit, I think, because there's been a bit of, you know, the initial reaction was very negative. So now everyone is watching it for free because it's just on Netflix. Just chuck it on. They're like, oh, it's not as bad as everyone said. So
Yeah.
it's bounced back perfectly for Netflix.
Yeah.
Because I watched it initially when it was like, oh, I'm watching Cloverfield 3. This should be awesome.
Right.
You know, advertised during the Superbowl, big worldwide release, really cool. And I'm like, this is not good at all.
Yeah.
But everyone else is coming at it like, oh, this has got 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what it's like. And
Yeah.
it was all right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas if you paid for a movie ticket, you'd probably be pretty pissed.
Wow.
One thing I really want to quickly touch upon is some reviews for Annihilation have come out this week, which is another Netflix sci-fi movie. Alex Garland, who did
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. This is getting outstanding reviews. I don't want to get too hyped up, but
Yeah,
this
no.
guy is a fantastic filmmaker.
That's Natalie Portman.
yeah,
Yeah.
in the jungle with the weird
The
force fieldy kind of thing.
production design on that, at least from what we saw from the trailer, looks really, really stellar.
I am so excited for that. I think it's late Feb that's coming out in sort of a couple weeks
I'm
time.
down for it.
His last film was well and truly in the running for like top of my last 10 years of movies. So
Which was his last one?
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also was involved with Dread, which was fantastic.
Yeah, what an awesome film.
And he also did what was that one he did with Keira Knightley? And it's like the kids. It's like an alternate future.
We're live, George.
The kids, they like grown up to get harvested their organs. Never Let Me Go or something.
Yeah.
Very interesting sci-fi movie.
What did you write that, did he?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Mark Romanek directed it.
Yeah, he was involved in some shape or form, I believe.
Yeah, cool.
Well,
Well, speaking of Netflix burying things, they really apparently kind of screwed over Altered Carbon with the Cloverfield release. So that's sort of the same. Did any of you guys watch that at all?
No, I've heard a lot of mixed things about it though. From people that
Looks
have.
sick, but yeah, they kind of really overshadowed it with this other big sci-fi release on the.
yeah, Joaquin
Yeah.
really pissed.
I think he's always pissed looking at it.
Yeah, it is certainly still something I want to have a look at though. So it's in the running.
Hey George, what's the time?
It's trailer time,
Oh!
bitches!
So everyone hold on for a little bit longer to get to the Solo trailer. We're going to talk about that in George's Star Wars Corner. But we have more than enough trailers to go through up until then.
Got
So stick
8
with us.
trailers.
8? Yeah, it's crazy. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. The first one is the Untitled Deadpool sequel, which, as you mentioned, Ben, I think earlier this week, you hope is the actual title of the film.
Yeah, because they're not marketing it as Deadpool 2
Yeah.
at this point. So yeah, that'd be fucking
I
awesome
love
if that's
that.
the actual
I love
title.
that.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Good little gag here with Josh Brolin's arm.
Yeah. So the trailer is, as you know, as is all of them, a little bit fourth wall breaking, very not
So wacky
standard.
and irreverent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is something that I really love. I thought that was it's consistent with the marketing so far.
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
jump right in and say I didn't find this trailer funny at all, but I thought it was gorgeous and looks really cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the charm just isn't translating into this trailer for the first film.
I think the tone of this trailer was a lot more serious than the last one. Obviously, like the Bob Ross painting one. Equally as gorgeous. But I
I don't know if the tone was more serious. It was like him doing a Toy Story
I loved that.
reenactment.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, not serious.
Oh no, I mean like after that, but like you know,
Yeah,
like,
the
the
latter half,
overall
yeah.
the overall tone of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to take the sum,
The net tone.
the net sum of the two was overall more serious because you know there's a lot more action. It was a lot more kind of
You saw a lot more movie footage rather than
Yeah.
these little gags that they do
Yeah.
for most of the trailers.
We saw Terry Crews as well, who I don't think had been announced as being in this film.
Yeah, that took me
just
out of-
cropped up.
yeah.
It was awesome.
Which I'm 100% down for. Anytime Terry Crews is in
So
anything,
People are pretty sure he's playing G.W. Bridge, George Washington Bridge. But I think it would be fucking awesome if he was just playing Terry Crews, because like Wade really likes Terry Crews or something. It's like, hey man, can you help me out?
And he plays Terry in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so let's just call him Terry Crews, man.
in every
Every
role.
role
that he does from
He's
here
just
on
Terry
in,
Crews.
he is just Terry Crews.
One thing I will say is I agree with you, Benny. I didn't find this as funny, but on the second viewing, I really got into it. Because I think I just found the jokes didn't land on the first viewing. But once I kind of internalized them and knew what to expect, the jokes worked a lot better.
I love the mustache joke.
Oh,
There's a lot of really subtle digs
Yeah.
at
There's 2 Thanos references in it,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
good. He says, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and then he references the Infinity Stones and his
Yeah.
balls. Hilarious.
Hilarious. But as we've all said, this is looking beautiful in terms of the look and
Yeah, it was so
cinematography.
gorgeous. It looks like such a step up from the first one. Negasonic Teenage Warhead looks awesome in that like 1 second clip we get of her. And Domino,
Yeah,
fuck yes.
looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, look, I'm really excited for this.
Not long,
I-
a few more months.
yeah, if they could just keep bumping it up, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome. The faster I get to this, the better.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know what this is sort of starting to feel like is like we're getting 4 MCU films. Almost
Oh yeah, yeah,
this year.
yeah, yeah. I can see where you're going.
I kind of put this in the same category at the moment, just because I'm that excited for it.
Yeah. It's that MCU echelon.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of MCU, but not, we
Where
got
is
our
it?
first. Where is it? You never know. We got our first Venom trailer.
Quite underwhelming, I felt.
This is very much a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Like you don't see Venom.
But just very generic city shots and
This trailer
labs,
is getting
laboratories.
savaged.
Yeah,
They
it was
By,
just-
so there's 2 camps on this one. There's the Venom fans who are like, what the fuck, where's Venom? What are they doing?
Yeah.
And then there's all the rest of the people who hate Venom and have always hated Venom. Like, Venom's a stupid character, why are they making a Venom movie? So people are angry
yeah,
and they're not happy.
yeah.
I really like this trailer. I don't know, I woke up one morning, I went to bed the night before and I knew it was coming. I'm like, I'm really excited to see the Venom trailer in the morning. I woke up and watched it, I'm like, I thought that was really cool. I don't know, it was just like Tom Hardy, the cast is so strong, and like Tom Hardy is such a credible actor. It's just
Did you find his American accent off?
I love it. That's the accent he used in The Drop.
It's like a Queens or a Brooklyn or I don't know.
Yeah, some
The New York
Some kind of
style.
York.
I didn't realize it was him the first time I watched the trailer. I didn't know it was him doing the voiceover. But
Do you know what I did notice though? He has a very distinctive walk, like incredibly. He hunches,
Oh right,
and it's like
it's a Tom Hardy walk.
it is a Tom Hardy walk. It's
because
really
he's about 5'2" and he wants to look like a big man.
yeah.
Um,
He is a big man though.
I watched
No,
another
he's
version.
5'2".
I watched
Well-
another version of this trailer where they put Bane's voice over the
Yeah,
top,
so
and I was
that-
like, "This is so much better. This is so much better."
Yeah, I really like this as a teaser trailer. Everyone's like, why didn't we see Venom? I'm like, why would you see Venom in the teaser trailer?
I'm
Yeah.
okay without seeing Venom in it. There just wasn't much to this trailer.
Yeah, there
even
wasn't.
without.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm only defending it so hard because I'm the only one defending it in the world, I think. But I just like the voiceover and how he's talking about like trauma and how he's changed and the demons, and then at the end it's just got that face. I'm like, this actually looks like it might be an interesting direction for them to take this film, which up to this point I've had not much interest in.
It's definitely not I'm definitely not worried about Venom. I just didn't think it was the strongest foot forward for the teaser. They held back a lot of footage.
They just finished filming
Yeah.
quite recently.
Yeah.
So
Very
this has
early.
been put together
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have had any real kind of special effects done. So it's not surprising that they wouldn't.
I get the
have
feeling that all those shots with big action stuff happening are missing a lot of special effects
Yeah.
because it just seems like there's invisible stuff happening. Like when we originally saw the Avengers footage, the streets were all just blowing up, and we later found out it was because the aliens were invading.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. As like kind of a proof of concept tone thing, I like it.
All right, moving on. We've got the what is this 5th or 6th Mission Impossible now?
Is this 7?
It's the 18th actually.
Oh,
Wait. So Ghost Protocol was 4, then the other one was 5. I think this is 6.
Six, yeah.
Six.
Rogue Nation was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is 6.
So this
It
is
is.
number 6, Fallout. Ben, you said something interesting when we were watching this on Wednesday, I think,
No.
which is that
He said this sucks.
if you really thought about it, you couldn't tell me one thing about Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's such a generic character.
There's nothing there other than he seems like a little like he's trying to kill himself with really crazy stunts. Or maybe
Yeah.
that's just Tom
That's
Cruise.
just Tom
I don't know.
Cruise.
Yeah.
He's got no depth. as a
Everything
character.
about him is Tom Cruise.
The only one that tried to give him depth was Mission Impossible 3. That was J.J. Abrams' directorial debut, and he had the wife and this. That's
So
Michelle
give him a-
Monaghan. That was really cool.
Giving my
Like
wife to fridge.
it was at least something, you know.
Yeah, I just that really kind of, I don't know if I'd say shook me, because after the 4th Mission Impossible, I wasn't really around this franchise.
I like the fourth one.
Well,
I know you
one's
did.
my favourite. Absolutely.
Really?
It's a dope movie.
Brad
I-
Bird, man, I think he nailed that movie
Yeah.
so hard.
The
3 and 4,
That
man.
skyscraper climb.
Rogue Nation didn't do much for me, but 3 and 4.
I enjoyed
great.
Rogue Nation more than I enjoyed 4.
Really?
4 for me, there was God, it's been so long since I've seen it, but it was so cheesy. I hated Jeremy Renner in it. I really disliked him in that. I found his lines.
Well, you'd be happy that he's not in this one, I guess.
Yeah, I found his lines incredibly just cheesy, lazy writing. Number 4 really didn't do it for me.
What about this one though? Like, what did you guys think of this trailer?
Look, this looks really awesome, and if you're approaching it as just an action film, good time, then yeah, you're gonna get what you're looking for.
Mission Impossible 6, action film, good time.
It
Yeah.
basically looks like that.
The
Yeah.
The CGI
looks
moustache technology is out of this world.
I don't even know how they did it.
The leaps and forwards they've been able to make in the past couple of months are amazing.
Yeah, that moustache that our friend Superman
Henry
Cavill is bearing in this. It's just I just giggle.
It's genuinely
It's-
it's bushy. Like I get what they're saying. They can't shave that. thing
That
off.
they would have to have recreated his whole top lip for Justice League because that's
Well,
got an
clearly they
overhang.
did. Yeah, they did.
That moustache is an overhang.
Did you see recently someone at home just like removed it on their
Yeah.
computer?
It looks better.
With that like deep fake technology, and it looks so much better.
So
Of
funny.
course it does.
Ridiculous.
I will say one thing I noticed is there's like this cut. There's like the last few shots of this. It's like Tom Cruise in perilous situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's in a car. He's on a helicopter. He's on a mountain.
You have to clarify what
He's
you
on
mean
a
by
this.
just counting, because
Like it was just like 7
there's
seven
about
or
7 different scenes of him in
Just
really like stunt situations.
about to collide with something or
has just collided with something.
in one way I thought this is really cheesy and this is overdone, and another way I was like, hell yeah,
That's the
son,
whole point of the series. at this
bring
point.
it on.
That we will inevitably get the marketing campaign at some point about the big stunt in the film and how he decided to do it.
We've already got it.
There's
You
the
already
helicopter.
did the late night shows showing how he broke his ankle in that shot,
Yeah, that's true.
and how he's doing his own stunt piloting with the helicopter.
Do you reckon he's just going to perish one of these movies? Just like,
100%. Yeah, and they're
Tom
going to pump
Cruise.
that movie harder than ever.
Yeah.
It's like every Mission
They're
Impossible. Every Mission Impossible is like, look at what we got Tom Cruise to do this time.
They're like, he's going to do it this time.
Have you heard that he's apparently considering leaving Scientology?
What?
Yeah.
No,
No way.
our exalted leader.
What am I going to do now? I followed him.
Yeah.
Followed
How
him to
crazy
the
that?
Anunnaki.
You know what? That's not what really interests me. What interests me is I want to know what Scientology is going to release on him if he does leave,
Oh. So
because they
much
must have some fucking dirt on him.
serious
Where are the
dirt.
bodies?
Yeah.
Next trailer.
A Quiet Place.
So this is Joe Krasinski
John Krasinski.
Joe Kransky.
And Emily Blunt.
and Emily Blunt. What would you guys compare this to? I'd compare it to maybe like M. Night Shyamalan, The Village, The Happening, with a little bit of The Road in there as well.
Do you know what it reminded me of? The look of it reminded me of was that Joel Edgerton film that came out recently. Not a lot of people liked it because they felt like the marketing had deceived them.
It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night, yeah.
That's what I said as the trailer started, yeah.
Oh, yeah, did you? Very much reminiscent of that.
Yeah, well, I said it looks like Shyamalan's It Comes at Night, by which I mean like a kind of a crappy blockbuster version of it.
A little more saturated in the colours and whatnot.
Yeah, this looks like one of those kind of bigger budget, more mainstream scary movies that I think are pretty hit and miss.
Yeah. This looks like it would work better on Netflix or something than in the cinema.
Look, I'm going to give this a shot. Because I like the cast,
Yes,
I like the concept, and I like the look of it.
So the concept is like these creatures, they're sort of in this post-apocalyptic world or something, and these creatures can...
Why does it have to be post-apocalyptic?
Well, it doesn't necessarily, but it kind of didn't look like the everyday world.
No, it didn't.
So yeah, you got served.
But yeah, look, I just...
And these creatures are kind of in the woods following them, and this little family of 4 communicates very quietly or with sign language.
Yeah, so the concept behind it is that they're not allowed to make any noise, otherwise something will get them.
It feels very contrived.
And the little kid fucks up in the video.
Multiple times.
I'm confused as to why you seem so against this film.
I'm not against it. I don't know. I don't think there's...
Why are you against it, man?
Why do you hate this film?
The one it reminds me of, which is a really random comparison, but is Passengers, as like kind of this...
Passengers?
Yeah, this kind of like big, mainstream, big stars, a bigger budget kind of original idea. Not a rip-off or anything. I don't think they're similar at all, but it just kind of reminds me of that as something that's probably going to have had like a lot of studio interference in it, despite looking like more of an original thing. I don't know, something about it just doesn't... I don't know how long they'll be able to really string that premise out either.
Yeah.
I can see...
It's going to be one of those things like I Am Legend, another one that kind of reminds me of actually.
Yes.
A big budget, scary thing, and then you get the creature and it's like, man, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
I
probably going to have
100%
some
agree with you
little
there.
happy ending on it,
Was it a happy ending? Did
Uh,
he die?
Happy, yeah.
One of them was happy, yeah. One of them wasn't. That
Yeah.
was good. Anyway.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, I can very much see that, this feels like it should have more of a nihilistic ending, but they'll probably go with a big show-off between John Krasinski and the Beast or whatever. If that does happen, yeah, I'll be disappointed. But I think, for whatever reason, I have faith in this film.
Yeah, Joe Kransky.
Something I don't have faith in, or I don't have to have faith in it because I know exactly what it's going to be like, is the new Skyscraper film.
The new Skyscraper film.
No, it's the new John, or no, I was going to say John Wayne.
John
Jameson.
John Dwainson.
John Wayne.
Uh,
Joaquin Phoenix.
Dwayne Johnson film. The Rock.
This looks like the most generic Dwayne Johnson film yet.
I don't even know what you mean by generic. It's an amputee.
Generic,
it's ridiculous is what it looks like.
Generic as in, what would you expect The Rock to do? This is, just spat out.
It's
spat out of an algorithm.
We've done so many, Die Hard on a bus, Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard on a plane. Now we're back to Die Hard in the Skyscraper.
This has the same aesthetic and the same feel as San Andreas and a couple of other films that he's done. What I feel as though has happened is that he has discovered that I can make a shit ton of money making very, very kind of template-esque films.
Rinse and repeat.
This is going to... what is going to make this successful is his brand.
Yeah.
Has fuck all to do with whether it's a good film or not.
Insert any other actor in here and this falls apart immediately.
And I mean, if he can get away with it, all the more power to him. Fuck it.
He will.
Same shit, you know what?
He will get away with this one, yeah.
Do you know, if they had replaced Gerard Butler with The Rock in Geostorm, this would have felt the exact same.
Oof, yeah.
That would have been better.
Yeah, that would have been
Definitely.
cool.
Anything where you replace Gerard Butler with The Rock would be better.
Yeah.
there's just I don't know why you hate Gerard Butler so much.
Don't like him, eh?
It's just so irrationally like.
Oh.
But yeah, this like it's. I think that this might be one of the last times he can do it though, because
that's one thing I thought as well, man. It was like
Baywatch was the first chink in his armor. I think. But then Jumanji came along.
Well, yeah,
and has done unbelievably well.
but if Jumanji hadn't done as well, let's say
Jumanji bombed.
there would have been, there would be a conversation to say that maybe the Rock
But
brand.
it didn't, so there isn't.
There
it
isn't.
did so well.
But this one for me felt like, ooh, am I getting overexposed
Yeah.
to the Rock?
here's a question I have for you guys. Do you ever think he will be, I say in quotations, an incredible actor?
No. Well, I mean, like he's a superstar. He's not an actor. He has transcended.
Yeah, but his thing is his brand.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single movie that he has been in where I've been like, oh, the acting ability of The Rock is really up there. Like
Scorpion King.
Yeah. I take it back.
I reckon he might have it in him. I wouldn't be surprised if one day he does like like Arnie's done some serious stuff in his later work.
And it's funny because I can see that out of someone like John Cena, who's just come from a very similar background. Like I can see not only the superstar potential, but also I can see the actual chops in Cena, which I'd far quicker say that he would have a more serious role than The Rock, because I just at this point I don't see him being able to branch out.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to at this point. Doesn't look like he's looking to.
Oh, I mean, like if you're still making that much money out of doing this, then why would you? All right.
That was too much time for that trailer.
Way too much. The next one is The Titan.
All right, next trailer is.
This is the return of our.
Wait, was this a trailer or a short film?
Yeah. What the hell?
Fuck.
So this is Sam Worthington, back as his character from Avatar.
Any movie would be made better if you replace Sam Worthington with Gerard Butler.
This was like, I kind of dug the original premise. I love the idea of a horror film, because when I was watching this trailer, I thought this is going to be a horror film that takes place on Titan. Like something's going to go wrong on Titan. It's either going to be kind of like Mars or, something like that. But this, I just went blank.
Like when you break it down, there's some really cool ideas in here.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
The Earth needs to be abandoned. They need to create these superhumans to go to Titan, to be able to adapt to that environment, whatever. There's some really cool ingredients in here. Unfortunately, there's two issues that I have. Number one, the look of it is awful. The production design is awful. The CGI is awful. Number two, this trailer, as Benny said,
it's a short film.
Gave away everything, I felt. At least 85% of this film. Or the main threads, the main bullet points, the main anchors of the story.
It seems like it, yeah. There's like a 20% chance that there is more to this movie than we know, and this trailer's not leading on to that, but it feels like it's a bad movie, so they're like, let's just chuck it all in.
And for me, you've shown me too much, and you've blown your load, and that's it. I'm done. Like, I'm not interested. If you had pulled it back a little bit, maybe,
held on to that load.
Yeah.
What they should have done, and
that would have been cool.
And this is the concept that I enjoyed about this film, is that it takes place during the training and the transformation there. Like that's where the horror kind of takes place.
So you don't have the budget.
Within like a facility. That I find to be interesting. But the idea that you got to see just everything. Like if they just focused a little bit of a teaser on, what they should have done? They should have done what they did with Life, which is just release
a scene or something.
A scene, a really intense scene that gives you an idea of what you're dealing with, but gives you no more than that.
Yeah.
Because I dug Life, and that marketing campaign that they did totally had me sucked in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what I found really impressive about that movie while we're on it is, no, I'm not even going to get into it.
Why?
You gave me the look of like the tangent look. Don't take us off into a tangent. No, I'm going to do it anyways. Fuck you. was the fact that with that marketing material, I got so pumped for that one scene, and they still were able to deliver that scene and then some.
Yeah, big time, man.
Like, that scene got more intense, which for me was just mind-blowing.
We'll go listen to our live review in 2017 AD.
Correct.
Our next trailer.
Jessica Jones Season 2, the Marvel Netflix.
Getting a lot
machine.
more, like, this trailer very much revolves around Jessica Jones and her background, all that she's gone through, and everything up until this trailer has left me, I love
the trailer was really threadbare. It was just
Yeah.
like her drinking and sitting on trains
Yeah.
and stuff. I was like, what is
It's
this?
like, is this a deleted scene from season 1?
Yeah.
But having said that, there's not much to this as well. There's no villain reveal. There's
But they teased the villain.
Yeah, they teased the villain.
they
Very
tease.
specifically, which I thought was really cool. Like, there's like another evil Jessica Jones thing out there.
I'm very excited for this. I love season 1. We've had a few ropey moments along the way, including the Defenders, but...
So you were tasked with picking out a ropey moment, and you picked Defenders?
The Defenders, yeah.
How is Iron Fist not your first
Yeah,
favorite?
Iron Fist as well, yeah, 100%.
So I found Defenders was not that bad. Particularly coming off the coattails of...
It was just very... It just didn't...
It felt like... The hype of it felt like Avengers, but the actual product just felt very...
But this one, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, the trailer was really cool, much more cinematic than the first. Well put together. There's clearly a big focus on trauma still, so a lot of people were worried about if the show would have the same thematic weight after kind of dealing with the Kilgrave stuff in the first one. Then we see at the end of this, of course, Kilgrave is involved somehow.
We're assuming it's Kilgrave.
No, I'm not assuming it's Kilgrave. We've talked about the set photos with David Tennant.
We know he's on there. I just don't know if the guy clapping is.
The purple light comes on and she starts clapping. Come on. So it'll be cool. We were assuming Kilgrave will be like some kind of mental thing, like just the scars from the past or something.
Okay.
But we'll see where that goes.
Very cool.
And they tease Hellcat a bit more, which is good because Trish Walker has been heavily involved with the Netflix stuff so far, but it'd be cool to see her kind of suit up and become that character at some point.
I agree.
Bring it on. I hope it's as good as the first one. Love season 1.
Same.
Yeah, I'm down for it. So finally, this is not a movie trailer as such, but we were going through a bunch of the Super Bowl TV spots for kind of films and stuff. We didn't talk about this. There's a new Infinity trailer.
Infinity War, yeah.
Infinity War, yeah. So there's always a TV spot, really.
Just 30 seconds. Not much in it. Cap has some shield gauntlets.
Yeah, some people were getting a bit iffy about his little shield things, and
I love it.
I was down with it. I thought it was really cool.
Looks fierce.
It does look fierce.
It does.
Yes. And some other ones, but there was also some trailers, and George, we were talking about this, about how brilliant American advertising is compared to Australian advertising. Like, it's such a serious industry there.
Yeah.
And there's very few firms that can really compete with that in Australia. I think it's called The Monkeys is probably one that is able to even boast to come close. But there was one ad called It's a Tide ad with Harbour. Yeah. Which was genuinely one of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, I think we watched it twice in a row.
Oh man, I love this trailer.
Yeah.
I mean this ad. Like,
it's an ad, yeah.
It is just so funny, and I love that David Harbour's getting this kind of exposure, especially with him taking on the role of Hellboy.
Yeah.
Like, get this man in the spotlight, and he fucking nailed this ad.
So
he
good.
is so funny in this.
He's been killing it lately on social media. Like, I think he's... Like, people have been asking him to do things. He'd be like, yeah, if you get 125,000 retweets, I'll do it. Like, I think he's officiating someone's wedding soon.
Brilliant. So
He's
yeah,
adapting, man.
I love David Harbour. I just
Ever
love
since
this
the
ad.
dancing meme from Stranger Things Season 2.
Yeah.
Like, he saw his moment and he seized it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well done to him.
Yeah. What a guy.
Yeah. Anyway, check out this ad. If you can check out one trailer from this week, check out that one.
This is content of the week. Seriously, guys, go check this out. It's a Tide ad.
This should have been all of our what have we been watching.
Yeah, I want to watch it right now. Let's stop this live stream.
All right, where are we going from here, George?
We're going on a journey to Tatooine and beyond in Georgia Star Wars Corner. Welcome, everyone. We have a trailer for Solo. Damn, we've been waiting for this trailer for a long time. So long.
Is this like 3 or 4 months out now?
Yeah.
We're waiting for the trailer longer than we'll be waiting for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got 2 trailers, or teasers, whatever these are. I don't even
One's
know
a
how to
teaser, one's a
classify them.
trailer.
So one with very little Han Solo, which
Is the teaser.
is the teaser, and then one with a decent amount of Han Solo.
Just a little bit more.
Is that Han Solo?
Supposedly.
Hashtag not my Han Solo.
Let's quickly go through what you guys thought when you first saw the teaser. I know, for one thing, I was actually quite excited about it. I loved the soundtrack on it. I loved the aesthetic. I loved the way it looked. It's gorgeous.
Love the sound design. When he's,
and
when he's
sound
like
editing.
he's clicking the knob, the ship knobs and whatnot at the front, and it's like almost like a countdown. It's like 3, 2, 1.
You're a pilot, George.
Huh?
You're a pilot, are you?
And then you turn.
You know about
the
ship
knob.
knobs?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
knob.
Knows all about them.
And
knob.
I think what is everyone's favorite part of that trailer is fucking Lando.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
That fur coat.
Correct.
Just give me more Gambino as Lando.
And the train with the fight on top with the eagle dude, the Mandalorian eagle guy. I have no idea who that guy is, but give me some of that.
Yeah, so this was an absolutely brilliant 30-second slot at giving kind of just a little bit of a taste of the aesthetic, and you got to see Han Solo just at the very end. So I was super pumped for this. I was really interested to see what they were going to do with full 2 minutes, and then the next day we got that trailer.
You sound like very down on the trailer.
I'm just not as impressed as I feel as I should be with that.
I really like both, I think. I
So-
was most taken by the look of the film, which really blew me away. I did
Yeah.
not expect this movie coming now from Ron Howard to look this good. Obviously, he didn't set the visual tone of it, but I just had Ron Howard in my mind.
Yeah.
And then this comes along, I was like, holy crap, this looks, I think, better than probably anything they've done so far
I
in
think
these
so as
Star
well.
Wars movies. Yeah.
I think it looks like Blade Runner 2049. Like, it
Yeah.
just has
So
a
saturated and
beautiful look.
Yeah. Really great color palette. Like it's
But it's like
a lot of grays and
browns.
it's not very much like a striking color palette in that way, but it is very much like I don't even know how to describe it, like a deep.
But it feels like what I think they've achieved brilliantly in this is like, it doesn't feel like The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens shininess. It still feels older. You know, maybe it doesn't feel like the same as A New Hope because it's not the 70s. But it has that, it feels older. It feels like in the past. I really dug that about it. I really like this trailer. I'm very, very happy. I think, you know, one concern I have is Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. None of the moments he was speaking or acting really lent itself to being like, oh, that's Han Solo.
I don't
Like,
mind his little gag at the end. The one line that really bothered me, because it felt there's like a big lack of self-awareness to it, was like, he's like, they kicked me out for having a mind of my own. I'm like, what is that even?
Yeah.
Like, I get we're dealing with a Han Solo before he becomes woke, which is the inherent problem with prequels, but it was odd.
Yeah, I hope they'll be able to navigate it through, but maybe the Han Solo thing isn't, like, the lead character of this isn't going to be the X factor of this film, and maybe everything else around him, because for me, that's what I'm getting right now.
Yeah. So I think that something that I've noticed with some fans of Star Wars, what they've been saying is that this is not him playing Harrison Ford. This is him playing Han Solo, and I think that there's some credibility to that. You know, I think that being able to take the character in a little bit of its own direction is an interesting thing to do. Having said that, I would have still preferred to feel as though I was watching a younger Han Solo or a younger Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I'm not precious enough about Star Wars. I think that, not to say that as a bad thing, but it's just not as much my thing that I think it would worry me too much for this film on its own. I just inherently didn't find that character to be too interesting, but this movie looks cool, so that's kind of...
Yeah, that's very
enough
much
to
what I'm
maybe
getting.
grab
I
me.
could give two shits about Han Solo.
Yeah.
I will watch this film and probably enjoy the aesthetic of it. I did
And
want...
probably the story, like the bounty hunters, teaming up. I think it's going to be cool.
I wanted to throw... As soon as
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson was like, I'm putting together a team, that line made me want to throw my laptop across the room. I was so pissed off.
Damn.
I was like, could have you found
You
a
hate
more
the Avengers that much,
generic...
do you?
I mean, just it's gotten to a point that was 10 years ago or close to that they popped that line out. 6 years ago, whatever. And maybe my tolerance for that kind of thing was a little bit different then. I also think that the tone is different. Like this is, the Marvel, that kind of cheesy line seems to fit a little bit more.
I wasn't actually comparing this to the Avengers.
Well, I know you're, but like, I mean, I feel like it's a legitimate thing to say. Like, in this, it just felt so against.
I don't like the idea of Woody Harrelson as like a mentor figure to Han Solo. I don't know what they're going to do with that. It's like, is that how he learned to become like a scoundrel?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of this movie, Alden Ehrenreich like shaves his head to look like Woody Harrelson's little flappy hair.
No, I'm really pumped for this. So I've got to say kudos to Lord and Miller for giving this film an absolutely stunning look. Because there's no way Ron Howard would have had the time since he's come on board with this project to really change the look. I mean, the new Millennium Falcon, that Apple Millennium Falcon, like that looks absolutely stunning. I attribute that all to Lord and Miller.
Howard did just come out and say that their fingerprints are all over this film for what it's worth, which is cool of him too.
And they've just got, those guys just have X Factor, man. They have X Factor.
It'll be interesting. I think that fans of Lord and Miller will attribute everything great about this film to them and everything bad about it to Ron Howard. And fans of Ron Howard will do the exact opposite.
Exactly.
I don't think you'll ever be able to pinpoint
fans of Ron Howard.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. Like people that support Lord and Miller and people that kind of support Kathleen Kennedy and kick him off, or whatever have you. I think we'll do that. I think it's the same thing that happened with Snyder and Whedon. People just attribute different. Like I think you'll never know. You'll never be able to tell with any kind of amount of certainty who really influenced what in this film. You're probably right about the general aesthetic, or at least the look of the CGI heavy scenes, just because I don't know.
Well, just the production design, the sets. I mean, that would have all been on Lord and Miller. They wouldn't have had time to go and design more stuff.
Yeah, that was.
Well, they got fired in what, like April, like almost a year ago. Like it's a big machine. I reckon they could have done quite a bit in that time, and they were reshooting as early as just before Christmas.
Yeah, they had 4 months of reshoots, but I don't know. I don't know. For me, I choose to believe
They
that.
pretty much redid the whole production, but they didn't redo all the pre-production.
Yeah.
That would have all been pretty set.
Yeah, I think it just takes so long to do that pre-production, and there's a reason why the studio's like. I mean, if you look at the Prometheus, if you look at the Prometheus documentary, those guys were doing concept art before the script was even done, and the concept art was influencing the script.
Yeah.
So that's what that's the model that George Lucas brought forward. So
now bring out the Lord and Miller cut.
That's definitely never happening. Any other comments about Solo, A Star Wars Tale?
Still not. I'd still rather not have it.
I want it.
Yeah, look, I'll watch it. I'll be.
You'll actually come out of and like quite a lot, and then time will go by. Be like, damn it, I didn't like it.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is kind of what happened. A little bit would have happened with me with Rogue One, because I walked out of Rogue One really impressed with that film, and I've kind of come down on a little bit.
Rouge One.
Not nearly as much as you two, but.
I love that they're not doing that handheld look that they did with Rogue One. I'm glad they're going for a very slick, almost David Fincher-y kind of look.
I don't like the John Williams stuff at the end of the trailer.
The reinterpretation of the theme.
Just evoking that at all. They're doing such different stuff with this film. I don't like that he's coming back to do a theme. I don't like that his music in there. I like the other music in the trailer. I love that. It was really cool.
I love the more electronic sound design that they have in it.
Really sick.
And not something that I expected from John Williams.
And happy birthday to John Williams. He's 86 this week.
Well done.
86.
Well done on you, John Williams, for
Yeah.
living that long.
Illustrious career.
Yeah, look, I'm so conflicted by this one.
There's some big news about Star Wars this week as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
And another couple pieces. Just quickly, George Lucas lent some advice on the set of Solo: A Star Wars Tale. That's pretty cool. So,
Is it?
From Kathleen Kennedy, a quote from her. George Lucas went to hang out on the set of Solo, and when Ron Howard was directing it, and Kathleen Kennedy said he had intended to just kind of stop by and say hi, and he stayed for 5 hours. Damn. There's even one little moment in the scene that, I can't tell you what, sorry, but in the scene on the Millennium Falcon when George said, "Why doesn't Han just do this?" So, George Lucas back in the hot seat,
Do you reckon that
directing a Star Wars film.
Do you reckon like Ron's like, okay, George, we'll definitely do that.
Thank
Okay,
you, thank
and-
you, George.
Yeah,
Look at
you-
his watch, like,
yeah.
oh my god,
Do-
get rid of
alright,
this guy.
Yeah, Eccleston, do the scene. George is just. Do you want to turn the
No,
cameras
we
on?
wouldn't have done that.
No, you
They've
gotta
got-
turn the cameras on. Like,
They've
no,
got him on
it's
like
fine.
they've got him on like the Lord and Miller set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While everyone's off directing the action movie on the other one. He's like,
Really mirroring each other.
It's just he's just got little figurines that he's moving around. Be like, nah,
Like a fake redhead guy with a Ron Howard cap on.
Ron, you fucked up. So that's a nice gesture to bring him on.
Such a sympathy and be like,
Lucas said, "Why doesn't Han just do this?" And Kathleen said, "No."
you know, she hasn't said it whether it'll actually be in the film.
Yeah.
I think she's just said that he suggested something, not that
Yeah.
they actually listened to it.
It's going to make a great deleted scene.
Oh,
I
that's
love the
funny.
idea that he gave advice and Kathleen was like, thank you for giving advice,
she's
George.
talking about
and then
it.
just did not acknowledge it after that.
And she's acknowledging that that's happened, but she didn't actually say whether that will actually be in the
In
final
the film, yeah.
That's funny.
Such
That's
a like,
very
if
funny.
you ever come onto my set again, George, and fuck shit up.
That's a massive fuck you.
I wonder if like, because again, it sounds as though she said, like it could be taken either way. She's either said, yeah, he stayed for 5 hours, which is really awesome, or it's like he was meant to be there for like 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
we could not get rid of the guy. Like, He was
yeah.
there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way. Like it's just such a good
funny.
quote.
That's funny. And then another really cool piece of Star Wars news. Game of Thrones series creators to write and produce a new series of Star Wars films. Very interesting here in that we've already know that Rian Johnson is going to do another trilogy. So we've got 2 new trilogies.
The Ryan Johnson one was already like, okay, wow, slow down.
Yeah.
And now, what, Benioff and Weiss, is it?
Yeah.
It's like, let's go.
This is interesting because a lot of people have been talking about Star Wars kind of shying away from the standalones because it doesn't seem to have worked so far.
The Star Wars stories one.
Yeah, and they said that because of the scale of the universe and the scale of the stories, writers have preferred to look at trilogies.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, you know what, I think that's fine. I think that within the context of this universe, I probably tend to agree. I could have probably done without Rogue One, and I definitely could have just never even heard of Solo.
Do you think these guys, as TV people, have the bandwidth or experience to do film?
Game of Thrones. come
Yes.
on.
Each Game of Thrones episode is like a movie unto itself. I think
It's
that
bigger
would
than
be
most
fine.
movie productions, yeah.
Mhm.
Like a season of that stuff.
Okay, that's that question
Yeah,
answered.
You fool.
And the second question is, I'm going to bet $0 Australian one of these, either Rian Johnson or this one, has got to be KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
Is that a question?
It's got to be. It's
Yeah,
got
well,
to be.
It's
Has
not
to be.
one or the other because one of them is definitely not.
Well, yeah, Rian Johnson.
So it's either.
But you never know with
Ben
Rian
Affleck.
Johnson. He's
Sorry?
milking creatures and
Yeah, it could be. They've been very kind of the thing is that it's going to be films. They haven't really said where it's going to be.
Do you think they're going back, or do you think they're going forward?
I think back.
They're going sideways.
I think it's entirely possible that this is Knights of the Old Republic or something very similar.
Seems like it'd be up their alley.
I think so.
Yeah, I'd almost be keen for like a series, like an actual series,
Yeah.
like Game of Thrones.
Well, we haven't got it here, but there's a lot coming. There's a lot
Well,
coming this
yeah.
week.
Disney CEO Bob Iger also said this week that they are developing not just one but a few Star Wars series specifically for the Disney direct-to-consumer app, so that Netflix competitor that they're talking about. We've been talking about a Star Wars series for a long time, but could actually happen with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Pretty interesting. Well, that's it for George's Star Wars Corner. And on to our final segment of the week. Question of the week.
Do we have a question this week?
I've got one.
Thanks, George.
What's your favourite Marvel MCU film?
Really?
Marvel Cinematic Universe film.
Favorite one?
Favorite?
Civil War.
Civil War. Very confidently not.
Did I just steal yours then?
No. I will say Captain America: The First Avenger.
Really? Joe
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
How come?
I don't know. I just think that's a perfect little enclosed origin tale, with an amazing lead character who is just so well drawn and is probably the most heroic character that the series has seen in that movie.
It is interesting because, as I said, I watched it. I think it would have been last night. It's a solid superhero film, and
I don't think it gets enough credit. I think people remember it a little differently than it actually is.
Yeah.
I think it holds up so well.
the one of the things I noticed is that in that film he is really painted as this kind of heroic character, but he becomes so lame in Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers is no good for him. But like in Captain America, like when he jumps on that dummy grenade, that's just everything you ever need to know about that character, and it is so perfect.
Yeah.
And it's also got like Stanley Tucci and Tommy Lee Jones are amazing in that movie.
Oh,
I forget
I
every
love
time.
Stanley Tucci.
Every time I come, yeah, amazing. But
What
you
took him
got
not
test tomorrow.
Yeah. You know what I found, that he is John Krasinski's brother-in-law.
Really?
He married Emily Blunt's older sister
Wow.
after the death of his previous wife.
Suspicious.
Damn.
And Red Skull, I love Hugo Weaving as Red Skull so much. And just the ending with Hayley Atwell and the phone conversation and the plane going down. It's the most emotional moment in the MCU.
I was thinking about this in terms of, because you know that he's not dead. Like, he comes back for the rest of the films, all that kind of stuff. It's very clear that they had to come up with some sense of loss. If he's going to go into the ice, there needs to be emotional impact, and to have it as to have their relationship deteriorate before it had even begun, that I thought was really ingenious on their part to give that emotional impact. Because otherwise you're just like, oh, he's just going to wake up in 70 years, whatever. But to have it that he actually lost something, I think is really important and then really good.
That's my favourite. I'd say Winter Soldier is the best, and I would say Civil War is the most miraculous. So Captain America series is doing well.
He's got it.
Yeah, I suppose.
George?
I've got to go with Ant-Man.
Nice.
I love that movie.
I don't know. I would probably say Ant-Man after directly watching Ant-Man.
I just think, I'm just scrolling through Wikipedia now, and Ant-Man's just at the top for me. I just think they just completely nailed that, and with all the trials and tribulations of Edgar Wright leaving the production and everyone saying, this is doomed, who's this Peyton Reed guy? He came on board, knocked it out of the park.
I've got the score going through my head right now. That movie's so fun.
It's so good. Michael Pena's great.
Amazing.
T.I. is great. That whole
T.I. is great. How many movies say that about?
Like, just worked on every level, and I have never been interested in Ant-Man before. And
Oh yeah, why would you?
I love him.
Yeah. I will say, on top of that, what the most, because I think it needs to be mentioned in this list. The one that I remember watching in the theater and being the most awestruck by and the most, I guess, impressed was the first Avengers. I remember so distinctly watching that and just being blown away by the scale of it, by the...
It was a moment.
It was like I've never seen anything like this before.
Oh, yeah. I so distinctly remember watching the first time I saw that scene in the woods where Thor hits Captain America's shield, and it just blows shit up. And I just, like, the sound and being in the theater and then seeing that and just having my mind melt in my skull, just like fucking, yeah. I don't think there was any other, because Civil War was very much the same.
Yeah, and Age of Ultron didn't quite eclipse that, but I think Infinity War feels like the next evolution of that.
But I don't think any of them will ever, because we know what to expect now type thing. Like, it's just, we can kind of garner ourselves. I don't think I ever really expected anything like that out of Avengers. Like, it was so next level for me.
Yeah. Well, we've got Black Panther next week.
Hell,
it's going to be fun.
Yes.
Once again, if you're in Sydney town, come on over.
Old Sydney town.
Randwick. 7 p.m. on Wednesday. You know what's up. Alright, we'll be back next week. We'll be back.
Nearly made it through the entire thing.
We'll be back next week with another amazing episode of the Weekly Movie Show with the boys Connor.
Fairly well.
And Benny's.
It's a tight ad.
Podcast? No.